This is going to be a very interesting kind of like a group session with my other core four members. We're basically going to be talking about how to build your business, and we're going to be giving a little bit of backgrounds of each of us. It's going to be a kind of an insight into what each of us bring to the table. And we're going to be talking about our live event that's going to be happening in a few weeks, actually, very soon. It's kind of scary how soon it is. But this is sort of a bit of a warm up for us and a bit of a way for us to introduce ourselves to you. So I hope you're going to have lots of knowledge kind of coming at you. Hope you'll enjoy it. Let's get right into it. I'm going to sort of introduce my fellow compatriots. I don't know what they're. We form the Core Fore groups. If you're not familiar with myself, I'm Alan Pollitt. I'm a SEO guru. I've been doing SEO since 1998. One of the pioneers of the industry. Um, to my left, I guess. Is that left? I don't know how it works. Everything's backwards. Is Tova Gazen. She's a public speaking coach, mentor. I don't know, just all around awesome woman who basically she puts on major events. She does like all these really great things. Um, and that's how I met her actually. She was putting on like what was it like camp? It was the name of the thing. It was just like this massive event, like a whole bunch of people, and she was the one kind of putting it all together. So that's her background, public speaking and event organization and stuff. And she does a lot more than that. She's pretty awesome. So you can tell a little bit about yourself, Tova.
Thank you, Alan. And by the way, Alan is the SEO guru, and I've known him a very long time, more
Yeah.
than 1 decade for sure. And
Mm-hmm.
he's very humble, but he's very smart, and he's an expert in anything SEO, websites development, and marketing. He's really a great guy. But a little bit, and thank you, Alan, for starting this and sharing with all of us. A little bit about myself. I am the little engine that could. I love to help others, and I love to say to people that yes, I can do it, not I can't, and make it how I'm possible and how you're all possible. But I'm a communication, empowerment, leadership coach, mentor, and I love just to help people. And I'm also a business strategist. So I would love to introduce the person below me, Randy Weinswig, who I've known also a long time. And by the way, the Core Fore became the Core Fore because it was just about introducing one person to another person to another person, and everybody in this square is an expert in their field, but love to help others and love to help people in business to grow and shine. So I'm going to introduce Randy. Randy is a sales and marketing specialist. He has been working for decades, helping others. He has a couple passions. One is magic, and the other was photography. And he's helped people to show the magic and do the magic in business. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Randy.
Okay, thank you very much, Tova. And I've known Tova for very many years as well, and I appreciate your support. And I'm very excited to be part of the Core Four. Number one, I want you guys to know that. And for the past 20 years, I've been working with Fortune 100, Fortune 500 companies to help them build their portfolios, and working with sales teams as well across the country, and helping them grow. And my expertise is in sales and marketing and teaching sales and marketing. And I'm very excited to not empower, but to teach these things to the other companies that we're going to be working with. So I'd like to pass it on to Verid. Verid is one of our Core Four, and she's got a lot of great attributes, and I'd like to introduce her, and she can talk about that.
Thank you so much. Yes, I'm so happy to be here, first of all, part of the Core Fore, but also just part of a network that we're building in order to give a lot of value and a lot of information to people. So we decided to come up with this group. It's a business advisory group, really. And we just want to impart all of our expertise and knowledge onto everyone so that you can all benefit from this group and from what we are preparing to give to you. We will be going in and doing a lot of other sessions, webinars, courses, a lot of different, workshops and things that you can benefit from, and you can learn while watching something like this live or the replay or attending some of our events. But more than that, you can actually apply the strategies that we're going to be sharing with you. So a little bit of my background. I am a consultant, a coach, speaker, mentor, all of those things rolled into one. But they are, years of collective experience, hands-on experience, working with clients, things that I've implemented in my own businesses, and also things that, I've implemented for other businesses to help them grow and shine. And I think together, it's not about just like what I do and what Alan does and what Tova does or Randy. I think it's a collective wealth of information that we have, because we all sort of overlap in what we do. And I also, in terms of business strategies and systems, efficiency, all that kind of stuff, we all help each other, and we're here to help you. So I think it's really important to just not compartmentalize, specific things, but learn how to integrate all of them. And that's what we're going to be focusing on, is to show you how to take different things from different places and put them together in a way that's going to work for your business, because it's not one size fits all, and it's not always going to work for everyone. Like the strategy here might not work for your business, depends on the industry, the size of the business, whatever. But what we're here to do is to guide you to customize those strategies and solutions to be able to apply them to your own situation, your own business, and to help you grow and see sustainable improvements and growth and transformation. So we're here to help. We're going to talk a little bit about our areas of expertise, and then we'll open it up to a Q&A if anybody wants to share. Otherwise, you can leave your questions or your comments in the comment section, and we will reply, I promise, to every single one of them. Okay, maybe not now, because in the replay you'll put them on, but we will get back to you. And we are accessible, so you can go onto our website. We'll put all of the information down below, and you can click on that, go right there, learn more about us. And you can see all of us also on LinkedIn. We all have our own personal pages, but also like profiles, but we also have business pages, so you can learn about more, what we do here. The purpose is to unite all of our expertise and to give it to you in a nice little package with a bow, right? Because you can speak to us individually, but I think you'll get the most bang for everything if you deal with us together. So I'm going to open it up now. I think we'll start with maybe go back in a full circle. I feel like kind of the Brady Bunch, less a few. But I think I'll go above me to Alan, who can start talking to you, because this is a really important piece, by the way. Alan is the SEO guru. He knows the ins and outs. He's been there from day one, pretty much, of how this all rolled out, and he's got the trade secret. So he's going to show you not just about the SEO, but really about the importance of your online presence, right? So I'm going to mute myself, and Alan, you've got the floor. Thanks.
Actually, what I was thinking is what we can do is each of us give maybe one or two little tips to really help people understand what we're going to be bringing, almost like a teaser in terms of what we're offering at the actual seminar that we're doing. So that's the way I'm going to approach this. I'm going to give a few little things that you guys can do to really take your business to the next level without even putting that much effort in. I do a lot of SEO where I literally have optimized over 1,000 businesses, probably closer to 3,000 businesses over the years. And one of the things that I see over and over again, and this is just like a common theme within business sites that I deal with, is a lot of them really don't know what they're selling. It's the weirdest thing. They have a website, they show product, they show whatever it is that they're doing, but sometimes they don't say that. The worst example of that was I was dealing with a web design company, and they talked about how fantastic they are and how wonderful their designs are, but they never used the word design. Actually, they never used the word web design. They never used any of the language that people would associate to what they do. They say, I don't know how they avoided it. It was like almost like a writing lesson on how to avoid saying what you do. So that is very common within within the marketing space. Businesses, they always talk about competition, but what I've found, and this is like in hundreds, if not thousands, of businesses that I've worked with, is your worst competitor is yourself. And usually the thing that's holding most businesses back is themselves. They just don't say what they do, and they're not. They think being direct is like a negative. Well, with online stuff, you have about 4 seconds to convince somebody that you've come to the right place. So you better be super direct, because people don't have the patience to try to guess what you're offering. So a lot of the time, what I recommend is just say what you do, get your services right onto that first page, make it front and center, say what you do, what you're offering, what you're going to give the person that's coming to your website. Because you're literally competing against a trillion, trillion web pages. The chances of you, of that person staying and trying to figure you out is very low, because people know that they can go to that other trillion pages to find what they're looking for. So be open, tell what you're doing. That's just a really basic thing. And I'll get into more detail about how to find out what those words are. I really like, I used to do a lot of seminars on that, where basically I'd spend like 2-3 hours teaching people how to find out how to really get into the mind language that people are using when they're coming into your website. So that's something I'm going to be offering within our course, that we're going to be teaching how to get into that language. And once you understand that language, you actually increase your conversions by about 5 times. And you increase your traffic by about 10 times. It's insane how much difference just knowing that language can make for your business. So that's my quick tip. Just be direct. It's very simple, but sounds simple, but there's more to it, if that makes sense.
And further to what Alan's saying, a lot of companies don't even know what they do or who their client is. So knowing who your avatar is, picturing in your mind who that person is you're going to sell, or you're going to, or you really want to target. But I've gone to a lot of networking events where people don't know how to network. So I'm going to show you something. So having a glass of water or a coffee in your hand, it actually helps you feel calmer, to make yourself feel good, but knowing what you do. So I've had a lot of people say, well, I'm a realtor. Well, so what? How are you different than 75,000 others in the area or in the rest of the world? But you really should have some sort of bio and know exactly what you do, and for your client and for the crowd that you're at. So if you're at one networking event in high tech, that you do crocheting is not going to be really a great way to grab their attention. So having that communication and be able to speak and not, oh, I don't really know what I do. You want to have that expression, you want to have that communication, but you really want to delve deep into who your client is. And it's not everyone. People always say, well, everyone's my client. Well, the baby in the next door is not your client, because they're not going to shop from you. They're not going to buy into what you're doing. So really having that knowledge of who it is you want to attract, what age, what category, what type of people, and then we can help you to figure that out. And then your sales are going to really, really grow exponentially. So having that extra little bit of knowledge and expertise and knowing how to get to those people, that's really important to know too. Vera, do you have anything to share right now?
Yeah, I feel like, Randy can also speak to this as the sales and marketing expert, but I think, based on what we just talked about, it's really important to identify the why of what you're doing, not just for you, but also for your client. So you need to, so my topic of what we're going to be discussing in the book that we put together a Core Fore book, and that's going to be given free to anyone who attends our next event. So in the book, part of what I teach is the heart and mind of business success, and so it's really important to understand that why, because that why touches in not only to the logistic part of your business and how to actually run it, um, but it also touches on the emotional part. And we know that the emotional selling is really important, and you have to reach them on a unique level. So when we talk about their sort of love language, it's where they are, and then getting them to understand where they need to be. And because you're the expert in your business, you know what they need to do, and they don't know that yet. But how are you going to tell them what they need to do if you don't understand what their challenges are? So you might be really good at what you do, and you might have a ton of strategies and really great information, but who are you speaking to? Because you can be pitching to the choir, in which case they don't need you because they already know what to do, or you can be missing out on people that have no clue that you even exist. So what Alan was saying is that, in order to attract them to your website and have them really resonate with the messaging that you have on there is important, because you need to have something on there that's already ready to, speak to the audience that's going to be visiting you. And that means maybe categorizing, maybe having a couple of different sections, maybe having a questionnaire or a poll or something like. So if you're in this position, or if you're struggling with, or if you want to learn more about, right? And sort of have it interactive so that they're leading the conversation because you've asked them. And that's the call to action that I think Tova was talking about, is, you have to kind of lead them down that road, and then give them little tidbits of information without overwhelming, but just teaching them slowly. And then again, what Tova was talking about is that messaging, that communication with them is really fine-tuning that. So once they realize what they need, then you have the answers, but now you have to communicate those. So, part of what I do is that mindset of preparing them to have that, to be able to receive the information and to retain it with the open mind of, I'm not a know-it-all, because know-it-alls fail, right? Like if we're not learning, we're not growing. And there's always something to learn from somebody, whether or not you've seen them one time or 10,000 times. When you read a book or you watch a movie and you go back and read or watch it again, no matter what, you're taking something new, a little nuance that you didn't pick up on, a little, thing that you maybe have forgotten about, or you didn't even recognize something at the time because you're in different stages of your life all the time. The experiences that happen to us and around us, the things that we're learning, the things that we're, failing at, whatever it is that we're doing, we're gaining a different perspective. So when you go back and you, even now, if you rewind this and watch it again, or if you go back in a week or a month and you watch it, it's going to speak to you on a different level. Maybe you've implemented some of the strategies, maybe you forgot, maybe you put it on hold, whatever that might be. So having other people sort of guide you on how to maybe drip campaign, or get them to sign up for newsletters that you can then share more information with them, or having them become a client, or a repeat sort of student of yours, however that works for you. We're here to just kind of help shape that for you, to put those systems in place. I work on systems as well where it can be automated, and integrated into your business model. So you're not having to think about them all the time. They're just kind of working in the background for you. And I think Randy probably has a lot more information about that marketing strategy and about, like using that to increase your sales. And then we can circle back around.
Yeah, so marketing is very, very important to a business. And we haven't touched on marketing, but marketing is the way you attract your customers to your business. And basically, if you look at companies like McDonald's, who had they had a monopoly in the market for many, many years, but and for now, obviously they don't anymore. And what makes you different? What makes your company different? What makes you stand out? How can we help you stand out as a company? And also, when we talk about that, customer acquisition and retention is very important. I mean, once you get the customer, how do you keep them? How do you keep them happy? and that's very important as well. And stuff like human resources issues. Do you have the right people in place? Do you have the right people in place to keep those people happy? And that's also very important, very, very important. And stuff like supply chain. I mean, do you have the right amount of products to keep your customers happy as well? So these are all pain points. These are all pain points that we're going to talk about and teach you about. And it's very important. Marketing has to work with sales. In the past, if marketing and sales don't work together, a lot of times it leads to disharmony within companies. So it's very important that marketing and sales work together to achieve these results. And I think that's very important. And it touches on everything that everyone's talked about. Alan?
Just one thing you said really resonated with me, because I've actually lost clients because of this. So one of the things that I found was I had this one client, huge client. I was sending them 300 leads a month. So and each lead is worth anywhere from $30,000 to $60,000. So you can imagine how much business is being sent their way. And just speaking about having the right team in place in your business. Well, I was sending all these leads, and they were going all to the secretary. Now the secretary, she's like, hello? Oh, sorry, he's not available right now. Click. So like literally thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars being wasted because the secretary didn't understand how to close a lead, or how to work on a lead, even how to say, hey, wait, he's not available now, but would you like to leave your information? Can you, how can we assist you? Something where they can warm up that person. I know, Tova, you deal in communications, and this is like a communication thing. This is how we each work together. So Tova can speak to that communication. Randy can speak to the sales and training. Barrett about the business coaching, but we all bring those pieces together so you don't lose those big opportunities. I mean, it's just insane that clients will throw away money. They're literally throwing away money because they don't understand all of these little elements that you need to make it work. How to bring the people in, how to communicate to them, how to, have your staff saying the right stuff, how to, have your overall business organization working so that it, can manage those clients. So that's really what we're all about. That's why it's the Core Fore. We're all bringing in skills that allow your business to run. And if you don't have these skills that we are kind of sort of like pillars of, then your business will falter. It will fail. And like, as I said, don't worry about your competition. Your biggest enemy generally is yourself. It's like, if I can get one idea across, I think that is the biggest issue that most businesses face, is that they're their own worst enemy. And I really resonate with what Randy had said there. I kind of want to open it up a little bit more free conversation. Everyone can sort of jump in on each other. I kind of want a little bit more, brainstorming within the Core Fore, because we are all experts. It's always cool to hear from like my other members. I love, when I hear your ideas, because really it's we all have the same ultimate perspective, but we're all bringing in different ways of viewing it. It's interesting to me. So I don't know. I just want to put that out there. So.
I want to make a comment and further to what Alan said. So I once went to a business. Actually, I went to a retail location in a store, and I walked around for a good 20 minutes and not one person said hello to me. So I like to give you an idea. So if somebody comes to your home and you really want them in their home, not like one of those telemarketers, they're selling you stuff, but you really want someone to come in to your house, you want to put the welcome mat out. You want them to feel welcome in your home. You want to embrace them. So same with business. You want them to come through your either virtual doors if you're an online business, or you want them to come into your store. So back in the day, I actually learned something. You don't say, how can I help you? Hi, how are you today? It's a different option, but again, put the welcome mat out, really welcome them. And from that first person that may be your secretary or the receptionist up until the CEO or the or CFO or whatever C level that you have, really welcome them into your establishment so that you're not turning people away. Because when you turn a person away, they will tell more people than if you take them by the hand, welcome them, give them a cup of coffee, make them feel welcome in your place of business. So really know who your client is, but really share with them that you're a good place and that they can trust you and you have a great reputation.
Yeah, instead of treating them like a client, even
Exactly.
treat them
You
as a
want to cut.
person.
You
As a
want them.
person.
You want them as a customer for life. So I think back to the old cash registers, and I think really ancient ones, and where you're just one transaction. You don't want transaction. You don't want a transactional sale. You want, again, a customer for life.
I think
Yeah.
what we're talking about is relationship building. It's about making them feel like they're special. Again, it's going back to that emotional thing. Well, I specialize in emotional intelligence, which I didn't mention. So when Alan was talking about having these skills, it's not just the business skills; it's also the soft skills, right? Um, I also do corporate training and development with a focus, like Tova does a lot of the, communication and the public speaking and the confidence and all that, which, is done through my academy as well. But where I put a real focus on is really understanding yourself and others and how they relate to each other. Because if you are not able to mesh with someone else, if you're not able to understand where they're coming from, to have that empathy, to understand that people of different backgrounds may be doing business differently, may have a different sort of communication method. Maybe some things are, acceptable customs in one culture and not in another. And so you don't want to, offend anyone, but really having that ability to regulate yourself, because as Alan was saying, you're the biggest competitor or detriment to your own business success, but also your own personal success, right? Because if you're shy, if you're not confident, if you don't have the ability to speak, then you're going to be losing, whether it's in business or whether it's in life, whether it's with relationships or trying to, in terms of sales, and I think we can all agree that we sell all the time. We sell our ideas. We sell our thoughts. We sell what we want. If you have kids, you're selling all the time. You're asking them to buy in to what you want them to do. Same thing with others, right? If you're asking somebody for something or wanting them to do, you're basically selling what you want. In relationships, we're selling ourselves to our potential partners, to friends, to whomever. So selling is a natural occurrence in our lives. It's just a matter of relaying that information and being really clear about what it is that we want. Like if you think about your disappointments, think about how many times it was because the expectations weren't clearly laid out. And in business, we have expectations on both sides. We have them from your perspective as a business owner, and then you also have the perspective of the client or the customer. So you need to really have those laid out, have them understood. And then that's why there are terms and conditions. That's why we have agreements. That's why, if you go to a store and you buy something that's on sale, they'll maybe stamp it, no refund or no return because it's a clearance. That's an expectation. That's an understanding of, what is going to transpire once that transaction took place. But again, if you just want to sell something, like you go on Amazon and you order something, it's a one-time transaction. But if you want repeat customers, then you have to build a relationship with them. That's why branding is so important, right? I'm sure Randy's going to touch on
Yeah.
this too. Branding, because you're asking them to be loyal to a brand. If you look at the Apple versus Samsung communities, okay, Samsung,
Apple.
I know we have these things all the time. It's because of what how they branded themselves and what they bring to the table, right? So there are pros and cons to everything, and we're not all going to love the same thing or agree on the same thing. But when we can agree to disagree, it's really good. And I think in business we're always going to have those situations where we might not see eye to eye, but it's a matter of how can we make the best out of this and make it work for everyone involved. Because honestly, as a business owner, yes, you want the sale, yes, you want the clients, you want to build your database, you want this, but at the end of the day, if you're not delivering value, and if people are not singing your praises, if people are not talking, if people are not referring, then your brand is not growing, right? So you want to build something that's long lasting. You want to have something that's really identifiable. Like when you see the swoosh or whatever it's called of Nike, it's Nike. When you see its arches, it's McDonald's. Like you just know. And so that's what we want every business to have, is that identifiable mark, and not just the mark, but what does it stand for? What does that mean to your clients, to your customers, to your tribe, to your communities? And that's what we're going to be teaching throughout, our journey with you is how to establish those points, is how to really get your essence of your business out there and have it resonate with the people that you want to work with. And let's be clear, we do not want everyone as a client. We can service almost everyone, right, in certain capacities. But we also have those ones that we want to work with, that we'd love to work with. So if we can appeal to that audience and we can draw them in, then everyone's happy and you're doing what you love, you're doing it well, everyone's seeing results, and it just continues to grow from there. So it's really important to put all of these things into perspective and to understand how they work well together, like a wheel or a car. Actually, I should say, you can have the nicest car, the best car, you can have the most expensive car, but if one little screw is missing, if one cylinder is misfiring, if there's no oil, or if there's no gas, the car's going nowhere. Doesn't matter how expensive it is. So we're here to put all those pieces together for you and make sure that your business is running like a well-oiled, gassed up machine to get to your
Lamborghini.
Absolutely.
Whatever it is that you want, a Bentley, Lamborghini, a Toyota, doesn't matter. Whatever vehicle you're using, we want to make sure that vehicle is running in the best way possible to get you to where you need to be. And we are your kind of GPS, right?
Absolutely. And
and
to further what everyone's saying, customer for life. I agree with that statement. It's been my mantra for forever. And my first job in this industry, I was working for a Fortune 100 company, and I had to introduce a new line of products to the market, which had never been done before. Not only was it a new line of products, it was also new to the retailers that I was selling to. So I had to learn a new brand of products, and I had to get over cold calling. And that's something that we'll teach you how to do, how to get through cold calling. Because once you actually meet somebody, it becomes a warm call.
Right.
And then once you learn about the company's, their business, and you learn about everything that they're doing and where their pain points are, you're able to move through that and get to the root of the problem. And they usually will ask you, what is it you're selling? Because their products, you understand their business, and we talked about that as well. Because you need to understand what your customer's business is in order to be able to sell to them. You need to understand where their pain points are. And by doing that, you start to build a customer for life. You learn about their families. You learn about all different things about them. And then whether you're selling a service or you're selling a product, it doesn't matter. Because what's going to happen is you're actually building that customer for life.
Mm-hmm. And it's not just cold calling, because a lot of people think that, picking up the phone is very difficult nowadays, Randy, also, but it's also how to reach them in the way they want to be reached. So, for example, if some millennial and they're the head of their business, they've just started a new business and they want to be texted, or they want a WhatsApp, or whatever the newest way is, it's knowing who and how to reach them and communicate with them in the way that they need to be found and reached. And it's not being afraid. So many times people are afraid in business, the fear factor, false evidence appearing real. And, you're not having to jump off the CN Tower or the tallest building in the world. It's not that in business. It's knowing that there are steps that you have to take. And if you were to start a new business today, you have to plan the work and work the plan. There's no way you can just oh, I'm going to start a business today. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I love doing this. And you got to have a plan, and you have to have a way of doing it so that it makes sense, not only to know who your client is, who your people you want to attract, but you want to know that you have a team that can actually help you every step of the way. And I thought I put in the chat, but I messed it up. But its team is together, everyone accomplishing or achieving more. That's what teamwork is all about, and it's very clear. And what Vered said earlier about your why is huge. You have to have a large why you want to get up every day and do what you're doing. And by the way, if you love what you do, you never have to go to a day into work and hate what you do. So loving what you do and really empowered by what you do, and make it so that it's fun. It's not just a drudgery where like, oh, I have to go to work today, but really love what you do.
Right. But the thing is, it's interesting. Like we say, if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. And that's great. But you can find something that you love what you do in and monetize on it. It's really important to find a way to monetize. And yes, you have to have a plan. You have to know what you're doing, but you also have to know how to implement all the strategies. You have to know how to execute on your goals. You have to know how to, navigate the challenges that come up. And even though you have a plan, sometimes it goes, in a way that you don't want it to. So how do you then regroup? How do you not give up? How do you learn from those experiences and not take it as, I'm failing? Because that mindset, if it's not strong, it can destroy you, and then it can destroy your business. So, you can't just wake up, like you said, one day and said, I'm going to open a business, I'm going to do this. There are some people that are really great at making things happen, but most people are not like that. So it is good to have others around you that you can learn from, that you can, take examples from, and maybe ask questions. Surround yourself with the type of people that can elevate you. And most of the time, sorry to say, it's not going to be your friends and family for various reasons. It's going to be people that understand business, that understand what you're trying to do, that maybe can give you some clarity because they're objective. It's not, that emotional stake in what you're doing. And they can see where you're falling short. So, we've created this group also because it's a place where it's safe. You can come to us. We have years and years of experience doing what we do. And if you had to hire, an SEO guru or somebody who's going to do your websites and build them out and whatever, it's very, very expensive to have someone full-time on board. Same thing with the communication, same thing with the training, everything, the copy that you want to write, the sales and the marketing strategies, the systems that you can put into place, how to train your employees. What Randy was saying earlier about the HR component, that's really huge. I mean, when I go into work with companies, and so my idea is not to come in and fire everyone and start from scratch, because businesses need to understand that once you've hired somebody, you're investing in them. And so to start rehiring, you're losing money, you're losing time, you're losing productivity, you're losing revenue. And who's to say that the next person is not going to have the same issues, because it might not be that person. And clearly you hired them for a reason, right? Like you're bringing them on because they have a great resume, maybe they have great references or whatever. You should do your due diligence. But if not, then you have to, if they're not performing, maybe it's because you're not setting them up for success. Maybe they're in the wrong role. Maybe that environment is not conducive to their success. So it's finding out the root cause of the challenge and then working on that. And you have to empower your employees as much as you have to empower yourself. And it's all about putting these things together and figuring out, how do we speak to each other? How do we help each other? How do we elevate each other? How do we support each other? And what things do we need to put into place that are currently missing? Those missing links are really, really important, because you don't want to have those pitfalls, because once you get derailed, it takes a long time to get back on track. So we need to make sure that all of the, the track that you're on, that train continues to go without any stops along the way, because otherwise you lose your momentum. But it's important to see here what we're doing, because we're kind of piggybacking on each other. And that's what I was saying at the beginning, like our experience overlaps. So you're getting the best of all worlds, really. And it's a place where, you can have us available to you without having to hire individually, without having to pay, have people on payroll. And you're very limited as a business owner, especially if you're a small business, in terms of the information that you're getting if you're hiring in-house. Having experts come in from the outside, and that's why a lot of even big companies, Google, like tons of huge companies, bring in outside experts because they're not entrenched in their business and their minds are not clouded by what they're dealing with on a regular daily basis. Day in and day out, they're looking at the same challenges, the same things, same people working there, same ideas. The back and forth, the entanglement of the daily grind is really detrimental to success. So bringing in somebody with a fresh perspective, the eagle's eye, someone who can stand back and see the bigger picture and kind of point out what they notice is really, really important. And it's valuable. It's something that companies pay a lot of money for. And we know coaches have coaches, consultants have consultants. Like we all need somebody else to come in and take a look at what we're doing, and also for the accountability part. And for that, rah rah rah, we're going to be your biggest advocates and your cheerleaders, and we're just going to want you to succeed. So what we're trying to do here is create that environment where you can come in and be welcomed. Welcome everyone, and be happy, and make other connections. If you attend our seminars, webinars, workshops, you'll meet other people who are going through similar things to you. And we also believe that there is no competition, there's only collaboration. Even if you have 10, 20, 100 people doing the same thing you're doing, nobody can do it like you. They might have the same strategies, they might have the same products, but they can't deliver it in the way that you can deliver it. And you can have people that are speaking and your audience is going to really hear what this person is saying because something about them just connects. So it's never a bad idea to have people around you that you can learn from and work with in order to help each other. And you can't, as one person or one business, service everybody in the world anyway. So if you create that collaborative mindset, then you can actually refer business back and forth. And maybe there's a client that you don't really love, you don't want to work with, they grate on your nerves. So guess what? Now you can refer them out to your partner, your collaborating partner, and they can work with them. Your customer is happy, they're happy, and then they're going to refer back to you somebody that they don't love to work with, or maybe they need a level of expertise that you're, more versed at. So it's really great to have that sort of tag team and be able to leverage other people's and other businesses' networks as well, because the world is a very large place, as we know, and with the internet, there are no borders. So why not collaborate with somebody in a different country and get, access to their clients and their networks? And I mean, now with AI, which we're going to touch on, Alan, I'm sure is going to touch on the AI component. But we know AI is not just about GPT. It's not just about, creating videos and having voiceovers and things like that. AI has been with us for so long. People just didn't call it AI. But if you think back to, voicemail, that's AI. ATMs, that's AI. It's all artificial intelligence. It's things that are helping us do things by using computer, by using artificial means. And that's really what AI means. It will never, ever, ever replace people as a whole, but it can make our lives and our businesses so much easier if we know how to use them in the right way and in the safe way. And it's important to go back and just listen to this again, because there will be points that you're going to refer back to, and you're going to say, okay, now I understand what they were saying because we've explained it a little bit more. So, just like you're not going to learn everything by listening once, you have to really let it sink in and think about it and internalize it, and then see how you can make changes, even small incremental changes every once in a while. Think about that and see how it can apply to you.
Okay, great. Before we go too long and it becomes actually a full seminar, I just want to thank everybody for attending. I would like to thank the audience for attending. We will put a link in the description of this video where you can go over to the Core Fore business site And we have our past events that are posted. We'll have new events being posted all the time, so look for that. But we're going to probably do more of these. This is probably the first of many of such seminars that we're going to be putting on for free. Live seminars through my channel. We might do it through one of the other channels of the group members here. Yeah, I just want to say thank you, everyone. I learned a lot myself just from hanging out here. Yeah, totally.
Before we go, we should have a Q&A in case we have any questions. I think I saw some in the chat that there are some questions, right? So
I didn't see any questions, but
Vera saw one. Can you see what she put in the chat? And there's some questions there. So
Okay.
how do we get in touch with each of us? Like, so what I think that's a major question.
Yeah. So right now, what we're doing is we're doing it through the Core Fore, right? Where we're,
right. So hello at coreforebusiness.com.
is
Yes.
the email. Yeah,
Yes.
that's the email. The easiest way I think for people to do it is to go to the Core Fore business website. Everything is there. There's actually a lot of stuff on the Core Fore business site. We're going to be, it's one of those sites that's a work in progress, as all websites should be, where we're going to be adding more and more information there. So definitely check out the Core business site often, like not just once, but often, because it's going to get updated. Yeah.
So I see another question. How do I generate leads?
Yeah. So those are good questions. We're gonna, with each of us, we can sort of give our quick answer. Let's give a one-line answer. For me, on the SEO way of thinking, think of keywords and think of localization. So definitely think of those two things when you're writing the content in your website. So just think of what keywords you're trying to target in each page and what is the market that you're going for. So that's my quick one. Totally.
How do I generate leads? You have to, first of all, you have to know your avatar. You have to know who your clients are, and you have to know what Randy said about what are the pain points? What is it they really need? So if you put yourself in the case of your client, what is it that you really want, or what does your client really need? And you'll find clients. I like to blog. I like content writing. I like to showcase my great skills. I also like to speak. I am a keynote speaker and a communicator. And I love to help others by really sharing my authentic self of how I help others. Again, I started off saying I'm the little engine that good. I love to help others. I really feel that, by really delving deep into what others need, that is how you're going to be able to find out more. You are the expert in your own field. So getting to know us, we will help coach you and mentor you in the way that you need to be seen and heard, so that you can actually help find your real ideal, I don't know what that word is. Ideal client. Apparently the communicator doesn't always speak so well. Knowing who it is you really want to attract, and don't lower your business skills. Don't discount yourself so much. It's not the discounting that will help you find more business. It's sometimes elevating yourself to find that really key client that will help you to elevate what you do in business.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and also marketing. Marketing is very important. You have to marketing generate the leads to bring them into sales. So you got to figure out exactly. We talked about pain points as well, Tova. I was going to touch on that, but you already did. And but once you've done that, you've got to use your marketing skills along with sales to generate the leads, to go out there and attract the business, and then sales can follow up and turn those leads into sales.
Yeah, and I think too, a really great way to generate leads is just to share your information. It's not about selling all the time. It's more about, educating. So if you're putting out content, never be afraid to share information, because no matter how much information you give them, most businesses will not know how to necessarily implement that information and those, strategies that you're sharing with them, because if they did, they would have done it already. Like self-help books, right? We can amass so many of them and they'll live on our shelves. We can read them, but we don't know what to do with them. If you want to be a surgeon, you can't just pick up a book and read it and say, okay, now I'm going to go and operate on you. Like, you need to go and you need to have that guidance, the practical, practice. And there are certain steps that you need to take and certain things you need to do in order to make it successful. So it's really important to just share your information and have people reach out to you. I think when you generate excitement and interest in the topic where you're an expert, people will automatically be attracted to that, the right people. And this is also a way to filter, to qualify your leads, because you don't want to reach every Tom, Dick, and Harry, right? You want to reach the people that are going to be able to use what you have to offer, whether it's a product or a service. You want them to come to you because you want them to do business with you. So know what you want to share with them and how you can help them. So again, going back to what Randy was saying in the pain points, you know what I mean? And things like that. I think, Tova, you mentioned before about, cold calling and things like that. Cold calling and warm calling, as Randy was saying, is essential, because we can't just rely on one method to generate leads and even to nurture those leads. We have to be able to use all of the tactics that are available to us. So it can be a combination of different marketing and sales strategies. And I think, doing the cold calling, again, identifying who it is that you're cold calling, knowing how to get past those gatekeepers, which are the secretaries or the assistants, all of those things, you really have to know how to do it. And I think the way to do that is by trial and error, but with guidance. So you don't want to burn leads. That's the worst thing you can do, is by approaching things in the wrong way and turning people off, not on. But we have limited time here today. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to have another one of these live sessions for you, where we'll maybe grab a couple of questions and focus on those questions. So when you are watching the replay, if you want to send us more questions, put them in the chat or in the comment section below, or send us an email, visit our website, get in contact with us. Give us what you want us to talk about, because the more we can address your specific needs, the more value you're going to get out of what we're doing. So let us know. We're open to comments. We're open to questions. We're open to suggestions about topics that you want to learn about. We find that there are seasons in business. Like, sometimes people are more focused on marketing, sometimes more on sales, sometimes more on systems. There are different stages that your company goes through. So wherever you are now, whatever stage, however you're doing things, whatever we can help you with, we're here to do so. So if you guys want to say a couple of last minute words, I think it's...
Want to say goodbye. We should all say goodbye now.
I tend to go on and on, but that's because there's so much to say.
Yeah, so you need to join us next time so Vera can talk some more. She loves...
Join us next time.
Yes.
And thank you, guys. Just one last time.
Yes.
This is really the first time I've opened up my channel to other speakers. So this is, thank you guys for joining.
Thank you, Alan. This was a lot of fun. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much.
We will do this again. Maybe we'll do it again next week. And then we'll have a few of these in the can, and have some building an audience for this. So again, thanks everyone for attending. Check out the links below. Bye for now, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.